Aloha and welcome to Pearls of Righteousness. Today I came because I want to share my joy, the joy of the Most High, the joy of knowing who I am. Over the past months, coming up to a year, I have come to discover that I am actually a descendant of the Hebrew Israelites of the Bible, the scriptures. Now, since then, I have come out of Christianity, I've come out of church, and I am in the truth. And the thing is, when I was in Christianity, when I was in church, I did not know about slavery. When I was in church, we read Deuteronomy 28, but we always talked about the blessings. We never went through the curses. No one wanted to read that. It was like, no, that's not for me. That was for the Israelites, But I'm telling you, since I've come into the truth, the knowledge of the truth, Deuteronomy 28, has always been there. And now I know that the transatlantic slave trade is actually in the scripture. The history of slavery is all over the Tanakh, from Genesis to Malachi. The prophets spoke about it. The Torah spoke about it. The writings spoke about it. Wow. I am so overjoyed. I'm so satisfied. I am confident knowing who I am now, and this reminds me, and the Father's been reminding me even more so. When I was a child, I was about 7 or 8 years old, back in the Caribbean, myself and my cousin Mark, we used to get up every morning, and we stood at the window between the drapes and the net. And we would watch the sunrise because as we did so, we would see a picture, a movie basically, and we were actually the narrators of that. But then, and as we did that every day, one day, one of the scene, the change, and there was the face of this man, this like a grandfather figure, right? And he had this white beard and white hair, and he was looking down on us, and we was like, we became alarmed as children. It's like, who is that? And as we pondered that, this finger came and pointed at us like that, and me and my cousin, we started to, when you pass the blame, and we was like, no, it's you, he's pointing at you. And he's like, no, he's pointing at you. He's like, no, he's pointing at you, he's pointing at you. And we kept on like that until our parents got involved. It's like, what? Who are you talking about? We ran away from the window, and that kind of kept us away from watching the sunrise for a few days because we were scared. It was so real, and the Father is just even reminding me of then. I was saying to you, I've chosen you. You are an Israelite. You are who you are. But now I know. My dreams make more sense. Wow. Hey, that is something. Also, if you read Deuteronomy 28, like I said, Leviticus 26 and the prophets, you will find this. But even more so, try to get into reading the omitted books, the books that was in the Bible, the King James Bible, the 1611 King James Bible, they were in there. But during the Reformation, they took these books out, and we were told in Christianity that we should not read these books, right? Because for whatever reason and all of that. But you read them, you will see why they don't want you to read them, because they don't want us to discover things. Let me just share with you one of the things that I've discovered in reading these omitted books, such as Jubilees, Maccabees, Esdras, Baruch, and stuff like that. One of the things that I've discovered, do you know the story in our Bible that tells us when Moses went up into the mountain to collect the commandments, and he came down with the tablets of stone with the 10 commandments? I always used to see that as a granite stone. I always used to see that, like a rock stone. But no, it wasn't. It was a sapphire stone. Like the stones we like in our rings, like this one there. Yes, a sapphire stone. Right? Can you believe how beautiful that was? Can you see the picture? And guess what? Moses broke it. Now, that is precious. When you see that, it's so, I'm like, wow, look at how beautiful that was. It wasn't just no stone like they show us in the movies and the picture that we got. So this is one of the reasons I'm encouraging you, my brothers and sisters, Christians, to read the omitted books and listen to them. You will find out that there is more detail to the story that's in your 66 books. It gives you more details, and it gives you more into what our Bible don't tell us. Okay, that's one thing. Now another thing that Christians tend to say is that no, they don't want to come into this truth because you have to keep the law, and the law is done away with. Now in Matthew 5, Yahusha, your JC, said that don't think that I come to do away with the law. I came to fulfill it. Now you need to look at, what does that mean? Because if he's telling you, I didn't come to do away with it, that's what it means. He didn't come to do away with it. But you have to look at what it means by fulfilling. When you read these other books, you will gain more better understanding as to that. I'm not going to go into it. But he said, I didn't come to do away with it. Now, another thing, if you saying that the law is done away with, then in Deuteronomy 23 and verses 7, it says that your son should not be a sodomite. In other words, your son should not have sexual intercourse with another man. Okay, basically that's being a homosexual. Well, we know that they're doing it in the world, but it's an abomination. Now, if you agree that that is an abomination and it's not something that Christians should be doing, then you agree with the law, and the law is not done away with. In the same verse, it said that the daughter of Israel should not be a whore. In other words, a prostitute. Do you agree? If you agree, the law is not done away with. You Christians also say that Yahusha, your JC, said that it's all about, the new commandment is to love, and to love your neighbors as you love yourself, and to show love. But how do you show love? Love is doing. Love is not just the airy-fairy feeling that you get. It's an action, okay? The Old Testament also tells us to love our neighbors as we love ourselves. In Leviticus 19 and 18, it tells us to love our neighbors as we love ourselves. The commandments tell us how to love our neighbors as we love ourselves. You don't commit adultery with your neighbor's wife. You understand? You don't kill. That's how you show love. And you all are saying that the commandments and the law is done away with. The law is the commandments. Right? In the New Testament, Yahusha bring it down, and he said these are the two greatest commandments, which is the 10 commandments. You just have to look at it, and the law is all in the 10 commandments. You see what I'm saying? So if you agree of those, at least those 3 things that I pointed out, then the law is not done away with. And just like Yahusha said, your JC, he said, I didn't come to do away with it. I came to fulfill it, to show you how it's done. Yahusha kept the law, right? He carried out. He kept the Passover. He did all those things. He came to fulfill it, to show us as well how to do it. Read the other omitted books, okay? Now, I'm going to show you some pictures, right? The other day we discovered that the Notre Dame fire, and people are saying, oh, and this and that and stuff like that. But when you look on the pictures, the statues that was on that building, which was supposed to be a church or a temple where the Father's supposed to be, it's so provocative. It's so disgusting. A lot of abominable things are on there. There are deities on there, have children giving them blowjobs, and people are having sex with animals and all kind of stuff. I will put the pictures on here, some of them, for some of you to see, because I never saw those pictures before, right? So my brethren, please don't despise knowledge, okay? The Father said, my people perish for the lack of knowledge. Knowledge is power. And now in the end times that we're at, do not despise this knowledge, please. Take the knowledge and adapt it where it needs to be adapted, okay? Because he's coming soon, and you will not be able to say you didn't know, because you're gonna be held responsible for the things that are being shared to you or encouraged to you, and you're overlooking it. So please take heed, okay? And please like this video. If you find anything here that was interesting or you liked, give it a thumbs up, share it, subscribe, because there's a lot more great things to come. As I discover and explore, I'm going to share it with you, and I'm going to share a short clip with you at the end of this video as well, just to encourage you a bit further. Okay, and so my brothers and sisters, I just want to implore you and encourage you that the Most High loves you and He wants you to come in to the way of the truth. Just adapt the little things that need to be adapted and change, okay? Because most of you that are in the church, you are Yehuda, you are Israel, and you don't even know it. Take heed. Blessings. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Take a look at Matthew chapter 5 verses 17 through 20 that will tell you more that what the Messiah did not come to do away with the law, but rather to fulfill it. Not only that, but you can also take a look at 1 John 2:4 and 3:4 to see what transgression, what sin really is. Because when you go to a church on Sunday, what are you actually worshiping? What are you actually doing? Are you actually paying homage and worship to a phallic symbol, to a penis, to a church steeple, which is exactly what this is, embedded with mystery Egyptian religion with the obelisks, just like Egyptian obelisks? Not only that, but with the Notre Dame Cathedral, that's exactly what happened. The spire was destroyed. Do you see what this is really trying to tell you? Our Creator is giving you a wake-up call, and it's no coincidence how this is happening days before Easter, too. When you go to a cathedral, are you going there to worship the Creator of the universe, or are you unknowingly partaking in sex worship? Because what? It's the same thing in the same anatomy of what? The vaginal opening, and this is where? This is St. Mary's Cathedral that's located in Sydney, Australia. And you see that it's very similar and reminiscent to what? The same similarities to the vaginal opening and the vagina. Why am I telling you all of this right now? Because it's very important that you see this and understand this with both your eyes open, that there is something very spiritual about this. And what this is telling you, our Creator is letting you know that now is the time to come out of these religions, come out of these churches, come out of these cathedrals, and come out of Mystery Babylon if you already do not know, because that is what this is. That is what Scripture is talking about, especially with Revelation chapter 18. Does your church have Illuminati symbolism? Chances are it probably does, and we've gone over this in previous videos before, back in 2016, where we even covered a video on Freemasonry that's embedded within the church. And you see how they have what? The triangle pyramid behind it. The same pyramid and the same one-eyed symbolism that you see on the dollar bill is also embedded on churches, because it's what? A symbol of the sun, sun worship. That's why people go to church on Sunday, sun worship. And if you would like to learn more about this topic when it comes to the church and its pagan origins, you can take a look at our video, what's called What's Wrong with Sunday Sun Worship, that will go in depth more and will tell you more about the church and will tell you more about its pagan origins, and also the origins of the cathedral and the Roman Catholic Church as well, because it's very important that you see it and realize it and understand with both your eyes open the prophetic significance here. And like we said, come judgment and come prophecy, even more churches are going to be burned and destroyed indeed, especially when the real Messiah returns. But the question is, are you ready for this, and are you out of her, my people? Please understand that I'm doing this video to let you know that you have been lied to on such a grand scale. The lies have gone on a grand scheme. Even Revelation tells you that the enemy Satan has what? Deceived the entire world. The entire world. Not just some of the world, not just a few of these religions and not Christians or not Muslims. No, the entire world has been deceived. And we've gone over some of and exposed some of the deceptions on this network that you can take a look at in our playlist when it comes to a variety of topics on this network for the past how many years. But yes, there are so many deceptions. The church is one of them. That's why it's time to come out of it. What are you looking at right now? Because again, who are you actually worshiping when you go to church on Sunday? What does the word church even mean? And like I said, you'll learn more about that in the documentary if you take a look at what's wrong with Sunday sun worship. But here's a picture of the figure that's commonly known as JC, but what you'll see is that JC in pictures is always holding up this hand gesture. Have you ever wondered what that hand gesture really means? Have you ever stopped, thought about it, take a look, and take a closer look at what this hand gesture really means? Have you ever wondered and asked the question, what does this mean? What does this symbolize? Because what you will find is that the two fingers pointing up and the two fingers pointing down that a lot of popes also hold up. Who else holds up that exact same hand gesture? That's right, the Baphomet does too. And who is the Baphomet? The Baphomet is the satanic transgender goat figure right here. You see the two fingers up and the two fingers pointing down? You see the statue of the Baphomet right here that was placed in Detroit, Michigan? And it's an actual statue that's actually there. You see the two serpents right here? Do you see this with both your eyes open? The JC figure, and even Mary too, holds up this exact same hand gesture. You see the Mary figure right here. You see the two fingers up and the two fingers down right here. You see the sun symbolism, the halo symbolism behind. Do you see what this is? Who are you actually worshiping, and who are you really paying homage to is the question. Now, if you take a look at our video, The Pagan Origins of JC, which will also be linked in the description box below, it's a 3-hour documentary in case you're new to this network or have not seen it. But if you take a look at it, you'll see, and it'll go more into detail about the image of the beast, about the mark of the beast, and what the mark really truly is. And not only that, but it will also tell you and go over etymology. So like, for example, the word Jesus, because when you look in the Greek or the Latin, what that word really means, you're going to be blown away indeed. Just like with this here, if you're thinking about celebrating Easter, well, not anymore, because did you know that it stems from Babylon, Ishtar, because it was originally the celebration of Ishtar, the Assyrian and Babylonian deity of fertility and sex. Her symbols, like the egg and the bunny, were and still are fertility and sex symbols. Or did you actually think eggs and bunnies had anything to do with the resurrection, especially when this is not even in scripture at all, because the real Messiah did not even observe Easter, but observed Passover and was resurrected on the Sabbath and not on a Sunday, because there's no way you can get 3 days from Friday evening to Sunday morning. And you can also learn more about the